If I had the sign over my head right now, we're called Life Coach Training Institute. Training's in our name, right? But training, the goal of training is not mastery. Mastery does not come from training. It does not come from classroom learning. You know what it comes from? It comes from use. It's like learning to ride a bike. What teaches you is scraped knees and busted chins. That's the key to mastery with anything in life. Well, how am I ever going to practice until I get a client? And I need a client first before I can come into mastery. But I've got to come into mastery first before I can get a client because I'm not sure I can help anybody. There is nothing keeping you today from making life your classroom as a coach. Every one of you, for the most part, have a full-time job. I know that. That means 8 hours out of the day, probably a good portion of that, you're spending with people. You know where else you can do it? You can do it at the park. You can do it in line at a grocery store, just on the fly. You can do it with total strangers. You can do it with people that you know. What are you doing is that you can practice learning anytime. And you can practice asking questions because you can start finding out what works, what doesn't work, how you can open a person who previously was closed. How deep can you go in 5 to 10 minute conversation with people sitting on a bench at a park? See, there's nothing that's keeping you from being able to utilize these things and to give you confidence that these things work. I don't need a coaching session to practice coaching.